Welcome back for another OG Show Live. Mr. Randall, how you doing?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Reel Down.
Welcome back to another episode of Bass Fishing for News.
Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to once again the Bass Kayak Beers.
Brother, this is the final cast.
Another segment of Chasing the Tide, your saltwater connection on the Paddle Pin.
Welcome back, everyone. Another episode of Feather and Fur. Your host, Brad.
Welcome back to the Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Crystal.
Hey, welcome back to Off the Water.
Susie Q here with Adventures of Outdoor Woman Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast.
We're brought to you by Pelican, built tough for all situations. Go to pelican.com. Eastport Marina on the beautiful shores of Dale Hollow Lake. For all your lodging, kayaking, go to eastport.info. Yak Gadget. For all your fine kayak fishing accessory needs, go to yakgadget.com.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Reel Down. It's me, boy Jimmy Skinner. Dan Perry, what's going on?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm tired. I'm making it. What about you?
Yeah, just living a dream, man. Doing what I do. Just got back from the kids' hockey practice every week. Got couple of little things in the mail I got to play with.
What you got?
There you go. If you can see it, Phoenix Pro Series Arky Jig, Living Rubber.
Ooh, I love the rubber jigs.
Yeah, I do too.
He's probably in college now, but there was a local high school kid here. Our local club does a tackle swap every year at the high school in Priceville, and you basically you rent a table if you're selling anything, and all that money goes towards the fishing team, or you make donations and all that stuff. And one of the kids up there makes rubber Arky jigs.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't see him the last time I went, but the first time there, he had an entire table of them. And I was like, how much? He's like $1 a piece. So I bought all of them. I just bought the whole table.
Wow.
I think I've only got 3 left because of using them, giving them to people and stuff like that. But they're crazy nice rubber Arky jigs.
I've had their football jigs before. There's a little bit too much gap in between the weed guard and the hook, but they're pretty good. Good looking jig.
Yeah.
I do black, brown, and then green. I mean, and then I do my own trailer, X-Zone trailers, but the heads, I keep them simple.
Yeah. Most of my jigs I like to run are either football or finesse ball, round head jigs, but I do black, blue, something green pumpkin, and brown, orange, peanut butter and jelly, something with brown.
Yeah.
But
that's really about the only jigs I'm it's just a round ball head, Arky jig, and then a football jig or a bigger casting jig with an O'Shaughnessy hook. But that's really the only 3 or 4 type of jigs I use now. I really sized them down a bunch.
Yeah, I realized, I think it was last year, I had way too many jigs. I had 4 boxes of jigs. So I've got it down to really heavy football jigs, some of the smaller finesse football jigs, ball head, and swim jigs. I mean, I love swim jigs.
Yeah.
But
if somebody's got some jigs they want to buy, shoot me a message. I'll sell you some jigs for cheap. So I got a whole bunch around here that I don't use anymore. So
yeah, same for me. If you're looking to get rid of
tackle swap, I need to get in on that.
Yeah, it's some years it's good, some years it's not, but you usually can find something. I've bought, because the NACA guys are most of the people selling, and you usually get swim baits for a good deal, or like Jesse Halverson sold a whole box of big paddle tails one time with all the hooks and heads for them for big slow fishing swim baits for $10. There's probably $200 of paddle tails in that box. But you usually find something worth it. We sell kayaks and stuff. I sold both my new canoes there 1 year in 5 minutes. It's worth it. But what you said on jigs, if anybody is looking to offload some Vision jerkbaits, that is my goal for this off season, is to learn how to fish a fucking jerkbait, because I don't know how. So I watched a tactical bassing video that got me fired up for it, and I'm literally going to I'm already planning the trip with a guy. I talked to him today. That's all we're doing. Like, I ain't taking nothing else. I want to figure it out because I don't know how to do it.
You need to go with one of our guests here because he is a pro at it.
I see one of them shaking their head back there. Well,
Yeah.
tell us who we got.
Well, first I did have something I want to say that
let's hear it.
Everybody's going to find out. Might as well. We were going to have Drew on today. Drew Gregory, he won the Bass Pickwick event, and there's some people protesting it, and I don't know anything about that. So, good luck to him. I know he's always been a stand-up guy to me. I'm sure whatever happened, it'll all work out. But one thing I do want to say on that, because I've seen it in different forums and different groups and everything, and different chats with a bunch of people, is a lot of people talk about rule sets. And they talk about taking away more and more skinny water from people because they don't want to go through the hassle of trying to make rules that make it possible for these guys to get out there and fish their strengths and fish shallow water. And a lot of these guys right now are having to fish in a gray area on how the rules are interpreted. I mean, you fish skinny water all the time, and those guys are always continually pushing the rules. They're finding the edge of the rules, and we need to find a way and come together as a sport to make those rules so those people don't have to be on the edge of the rules. I know that Drew in the past has said that he has some kind of mileage calculation based on how big the lake is and the creeks are and a distance you can go. But I would just challenge every tournament director that does listen to us in the country, whether you're grassroots or a national trail, to don't bring in the boundaries just to make it easier. Let's find a way. And if there's anything I could do, message us. We'll do anything we can on this podcast where if we can have a forum with different tournament directors and talk it out, if there's anything we can do here at Paddle and Fin to help figure that out so these people don't have to work in the gray area so much. I just hate to see people having to push the limits of the rules whenever they can win without having to push the limits of the rules. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, completely. I mean, that's kind of why, like, I haven't really stuck to my strengths in the national tournaments that I have done, is like, whether it's I'm unclear about my rule, or sometimes it's just like, man, I could probably go up there and whack them, but it could get protested because I'm not 100% sure that counts. So I just don't do it. Like, the bass on Pickwick last year was a good example. I even tried. I was going to go way up in some skinny water, and I did it. And there were fish, but I couldn't convince myself to take the gamble. Because, like, shitty that make you feel like do really good. And then they'd be like, nope, sorry, you didn't understand the rules.
And but it should be clear cut. I mean, you get that there should be no gray. Maybe
it's funny because
if it's not coordinates or whatever it is, it needs to be a hard boundary, and everything up to that is okay.
It's funny that, like, it's not even just like this national level stuff. Like, that's not all we talk about here.
Grassroots.
Like, I literally had to go through this today. Someone messaged me about the state championship and sent me a gray area. And I talked to a couple other tournament directors. I didn't tell them who sent it to me. That way there's no bias to it. And we all had the same. I already knew what my decision was. And I explained to them the same thing. And they were like, no, yeah. And I allowed it because, one, I'm the director. So I get to, it says in our rules, rules can be, or the boundaries can be changed by the tournament director. But, like, there's just gray areas. And it's not even like this person's trying to get ahead of the game or get in a locked up area. It's just like, well, I know the rule says this, but what does that mean? Yeah. And I don't know. I think Drew, like you said, Drew said it before. He's got it's like the square miles of the lake formula thing. But I don't think we'll see that it change. Honestly, I don't think folks like getting beat by creek fishermen. And I don't mean that because I am one. You hear the banner about it in the local stuff. You hear the guys.
I'm not a creek fisherman.
Yeah.
But I want all those guys to go do their thing. I want them to spread out, because if they go and fish that, I didn't mean to get on to make this a whole show kind of thing, but it keeps people off the lake where I'm trying to fish a lot of times.
You're right.
So it's fine for me for them to go up in so I never see them. That's cool.
My whole argument's that's what makes kayaking is like, I'm getting places boats can't get. If you limit me to only places boats can get, then I should probably just go buy a boat. But anyway,
it's and that's it. It's easy to make rules to bring down the boundaries. The challenge is to keep them expanded. So just challenge to all our tournament directors out there. But tonight we're going to talk KFL. We don't do it very often. It's the kind of the black sheep of the national trails. But tonight,
that's saying something if you consider that the black sheep under KBF, because KBF's, it's like something came along that people decided they could hate more than KBF, which blows my mind.
Yeah, and some people do. But tonight we have the two teams that have made it to the KFL Championship at the end of the month on Chickamauga. We have the team that me and Coley co-own. So we have Coley McGowan, co-owner of the Coosa Kingfishers, Chuck Wise, a valuable MVP level teammate, and from the Massachusetts. I can't say Massachusetts. I'm just Massachusetts. I'm sorry, I can't say that word.
Massive two shits.
There you go. Mike Marcon, how you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you all for being on. How do you say it? Because I can't say it.
Massachusetts.
There you go. I've even been there. I went to firefighting school there. I've been on the Big Green Monster, and I still can't say the name of that state.
I'm not even a fan anyway. I don't blame you. The place kind of sucks. It's all right, but I've been south, and I'm like, wow, I like these guys. It's like, I don't know. I'm into hunting and fishing my whole life, and Massachusetts is not the best place for all that. But it's still great. It's home, so it is what it is. But anyhow,
well, congrats on the season. I mean, to us and to y'all. I mean, it's and y'all won the league last year, so that's back to back to make it to the championship. That's amazing in itself. But we'll go ahead and do. I think y'all have all been on now, but we'll go ahead and start with you, Mike, if you want to tell everybody who you are.
We got one more back there in the background.
I think Nate just joined.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You guys want one more?
There we go. Nate too. There you go, man.
How you doing?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I had to scroll down. I didn't see it down there. My bad, man.
Man.
Appreciate you being on. Mike, we'll start with you. Tell everybody who you are, man.
Yeah, just Mike Marcon. I've been doing some of the national stuff for a couple of years, and the regional stuff. Got into KFL obviously last year. That first year it was a lot of fun, man. It was, obviously there's been a few bumps in the road this year. As we all know. I mean, some stuff that made some big news and all that, but really it was just such a cool concept and a lot of fun, and we ended up kind of going all the way and winning the whole thing. And I mean, it's just total blast. And it's, so as far as KFL goes, I mean, it's, been doing that now. This is second year, and you always hear all the nonsense, but really a lot of guys that fish it, seem to love it. So in terms of like the angler experience, sure. There's been some hiccups. It's a new format. There's a lot of stuff to work out. No doubt. There's a lot of moving parts, but it's really been a great experience. And, I've thoroughly enjoyed that. So that's kind of how we ended up here. It's become almost a priority over some of the other stuff we've done, in terms of travel. So I enjoy the hell out of it. I don't know. I think KFL is great. So
yeah. Nate, how about you, man?
Nate Shagnon. I'm Massachusetts Maulers. I started fishing KBF and stuff like back in 2018. And, this is my first year with the KFL. Hopped on with these guys. I want to say it was like a couple weeks before the season started. And it's just been a fun experience. I mean, every fishing experience is fun, though. We all know that. So.
For sure.
That's about it.
Man, now I don't know what kind of couch that is, but that bitch looks comfortable.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
It does. Like,
Definitely is.
I was like, man, my dude's relaxed. Like, I'm
cushions are big.
Nate always talks extremely slow. It's his he's just got that swag, so
kind of my MO.
yeah.
Are you a Mainer? It seems like they the maniacs up there talk a little bit slow.
No, I'm from Massachusetts. I actually live like 5 minutes away from John Ferreira and Ken Wood. We're all kind of right there in the same area.
Gotcha. I was up there in Bangor for 6 months in the military one time. All right. Coley, how about you, man? You've been on a couple times, but people didn't see it. Tell them who you are, man. If they don't, they should know who you are, but if they don't know.
Coley McGowan from Gadsden, Alabama. Pretty much it.
Dude's got like 8 kids, and he's a popo.
He could have not said he was from Gadsden, and any Alabama person listening to this could have picked that out.
Yeah.
You can just hear it. Just Gadsden.
And Chuck, how about you, man?
Yeah, Chuck Wise, been fishing local, KFL for 2 years, just like Mike. And it's fun. I think fishing with your buddies is always fun, even if you're not competing with them or against them. You're competing with them. It makes it even funner. Me, you, and Coley, we've had our experiences like competing against each other, and it's always fun. But yeah, fishing with each other is a lot more fun too.
So something to add about Chuck is Chuck has been a terror in local Alabama fishing this year that we all hope comes to an end soon, because I have came second to this man twice this year, second and third, and I don't want to do that anymore, because those are all days I was very confident in my abilities, and then old Chuck slid right on by. But no, I think you've had a kick-ass year, dude. Like,
yeah, man,
good job, man.
It's been a blessing. I'm not gonna lie, and
I've got money on you to win state, so you got to show out at state.
Hey, you call me, and that's bad luck. I don't know.
And Coley was also the MVP for the KFL last year.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. The Hammers didn't make it past, because last year me, Chuck, and Coley were all on the Alabama Hammers, and this year we just decided to make our own team. But we made it to the Southern Conference Championship and went to Texas to the Bandits. The band team, and they beat us by like, I don't know, they had like 214 inches.
Yeah, but you got to catch your PB out there, so
yeah, it was a good one. 24. I had a 24, but they had 3 24s.
Dude, I remember listening to that because they did the centralized stream, and we were on the Warden's Pond with Rhode Island, and dude, this place, you want to talk about tough, man. I mean, you're lucky to get. If it was an individual tourney, like, you're real lucky to get 5 bites, man. I mean, big time. We're all sitting there struggling, and they're just doing updates. We're like, these guys have, like, I can't catch 200 inches in a season in Rhode Island. Never mind an afternoon. It was wild to listen to. That was Texas's performance. You guys ran into a buzzsaw on that.
Yeah, we had like 196, I think. Or something like that. Yeah, I mean, we had a great day. This year, we even added Dustin Nichols to the team in Texas, a PNFOs from Chasing the Tide, saltwater guy, but he's unbelievable bass fisherman.
I'll say it. I say it all the time. People are lucky he's not more like bass fishing prioritized. He would be a terror on the national circuit, dude. He's good. And good. Yeah,
we put him on the team just in case we had to go back to Texas because he knows that area so well. Like, we put Jordan on the team. One of the reasons, I mean, Jordan's Jordan. I mean, he's great no matter what. But
he's on.
We put him on the team for Chick in case we did make it, and we put Dustin on the team for Texas. That was our 7th and 8th guys. So we tried to prepare for what we didn't do last year, I guess.
No, that's smart.
That's
what's
yourself
cool.
Say what?
Didn't you have yourself a weekend this weekend?
Yeah, I had a good weekend.
I thought that was you on the main stream. Yeah.
It was a great weekend.
Yeah, the Virginia guy. I'm not talking bad about the Virginia guys because we met them afterwards and they didn't say anything. But well, like we met up and ate with them. But apparently on the stream, and I didn't go back and listen to it, but they were saying that we were cheating or we had fish tied up or something like that. And then me and Chuck get on the live stream and catch fish live. You know, I catch like a 20 3/4, and then they don't say anything else after that.
What is it about? Like, man, your home field was really why I don't know much about that fishery, but that was a pretty crazy advantage all year. I mean, you guys just crushed everybody. You know, it was I don't even think it was close. Like, do you even have one within like 20 inches? I mean,
yeah, whenever the Palmetto came here, and I think was that one was about 20, right?
It was Palmetto was close or was reasonably close, and then the Slayers was probably one of the other closest ones.
Yeah, so those were our two closest, but that's been our home lake, both with the Hammers and this year, you know, with the Kingfishers. But it just, man, I'll tell you what, Neely it's one of those places you just can't go there for a couple of days and find them. It's a place that's fun. It's got a lot of fish, but it really anywhere on the Coosa River is just it's tough, man.
Like Neely is. I mean, almost all the Coosa River lakes, like he said, are super tough. When they were doing, when Dan was doing some pre-fishing, he's in one of the monthlies here, and he sent us a message and was like, he had like 92 inches already the first day of the month. And I was like, where is he at? And he was like, Neely. And I was like, what? He was like, and I wasn't even trying. He's like, I think it's going to be great. And then I never tuned into the KFL stuff. I tuned in just long enough to see what was going on and was like, well, it got better. But it's not like anybody that was part of that banner about the cheating or bullshit. Like, y'all understand that Dan and them get to fish this lake, and it still doesn't really do that great normally. Like,
well, it's tough I mean, they came a long way from Virginia, and they practiced a few days. I'm sure they came down. They were pissed off that they didn't, it didn't go their way. But
they said they remember being on our stream, and Todd Patrick gave the update at like 8:30, and I think you hear me say right to Ferrero like, "Oof, that one's over."
But I will say I'll give Coley all the credit because I was on one of his spots he gave me. So it's not I literally, like, usually whenever we fish at lake, I'm just the guy shooting. I've said this before, like I'm just shooting free throws while they're shooting 3-pointers. I'm in a place where I'm just catching 15s and 16s, and by the end of the day, my fish don't count. So like I'll only put up like one fish a tournament. It's not that I didn't have a good day and I didn't catch a bunch of other fish. I just couldn't keep up with them.
That's going to get real awkward when Hobie announces, Neely Henry next year, and you're sitting on Coley's spot like, hey.
No, I done told him I won't fish it against him. So
no, I know. Dude, that is one of the, with KFL, that is one of the strange things. And like, I know our groups, like you mentioned before the show, we have that EKF thing, which is really cool, regional trail. And like we all fish against each other a lot too, and we're crazy competitive. Like we're not like, I can swear to God that when it comes to individual stuff, like we're not sitting there helping each other at all. We want to kill each other. I mean, it's real competitive, but we just throw that shit away. It's like when it comes to KFL, it's like I really think that's why we've been pretty successful, is that we just forget it all, and the egos, like we adjust our lineups probably more than most teams, and like based on either availability, or some guys are better smallie fishermen and some are better shallow. And I mean, there's never been bickering or infighting, and it is kind of fun to have such like a competitive group of humans who I mean, dude, we'll gamble on everything, like if we're out practicing, we're like side tourney, let's go, it's like, so to then work together and have no issues. You know what I mean? It's even hearing rumblings around the leagues of like other teams infighting and bickering about playing time and not agreeing on spots. And it's like, man, we've just never had any of that. It seems like you guys do a great job sharing info too. And I really think that's a big part of like what this is all about, is just kind of you got some big names too on your team, and you got to hang those egos at the door and just kind of work together. And that's, one thing for all the, nonsense that KFL gets thrown its way. That's one thing I've really, really liked about it. It's just a very different take on fishing, which I think is an extremely individual sport, so it's unique to work together. It's fun.
I think really that's the thing that I've learned the most from the KFL is how you're getting to see in real time how your buddy is breaking down. Somebody who fishes differently than you is breaking down the same body of water and could be doing better or worse than you. And it's just crazy to see like how, oh, well, he was throwing this and I was throwing this. This is why that worked. This is the section of the lake or the river that worked. And why didn't I choose that? I mean, it's getting to see all the available things that you could have done. And I think I've learned that's been my favorite part of the KFL, not only hanging out with the guys, but getting to learn exactly real time on the same day, same body of water, what you could have done differently, and getting 100% honesty and truthfulness on what they did.
Mm-hmm.
It's super eye opening, and I've learned so much from it. That's been my favorite part of it for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
That's why I turned it down. I got an invite a couple months ago for a team that was getting in on it next year, and they wanted to do that. It's another Florida-based team, but they wanted to have like, the ace in the hole in Alabama, and they're like, yeah, if we happen to come there, you can just help all of us out and share, all your information. I was like, yeah, not count me out, bro. Like, I can't have y'all come in here and just being like, hey, where do we go? Because I'm just gonna be like, fucking figure it out. I don't care. Like, yeah. I've worked too hard for a lot of it, And
that situation's different too. You know what I mean? Like we're fishing with our buddies. Like
yeah.
we're all like, look how small Massachusetts is. You know what I mean? It's like we're all like real close, and really you could cut it in half too. We're all from like Worcester East,
Mm-hmm.
So it really, if you look at that, like a lot of other teams in the KFL are bringing guys from other areas, and it's so it really is kind of unique. Like we're pretty tight knit group, and it's I could see like if someone approached me like that, I wouldn't want to share info with guys that I didn't know like that. It's not at all, and like you're talking about with like Coley sharing some stuff with you, and it's because there will be an event there eventually. That's a cool fishery, and it's like you got to be able to trust each other to show respect later, if you're going to share information.
Or y'all can like take that info and y'all can just go dominate that event together.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, I'm sure a lot of that goes on these quote unquote national trails anyway. We all know,
100%.
We all know there's plenty of.
It depends on whose Facebook you read. Some people say that doesn't happen, but we've had plenty of people on this show who have said that they fish in teams. So to say that it doesn't happen is just not reality.
I mean, I don't have any evidence to the whole team thing, but there's definitely like sharing of information, which is good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with sharing information.
I mean, we've seen it. I mean, like undeniable, just watched it, and technically they're not really breaking any rules. So it's, I mean, what can you really
my
say?
hatred is just the jealousy that I'm not in the circle that gets all the good information.
See, but that guy, to me, I'm just not into it. It's like, it's like such, it's like almost like a weakness. Like it's okay to lose, it's like the spirit of competition. It's like, I want to go out and win or lose, and I want to do that on my own. And it's like, if I get my ass whooped, then I get my ass whooped. You know what I mean? It's like, at least I know I went out there, I did it. It's like, and then when you win, it's just so much sweeter because you're like, it's legitimate, man. You're not bending any rules. You're not stretching anything. You're not working with anyone. You do it the right way. Yeah, technically that's just for you. But it's like, to me, I'm like, I just don't get some of the stuff that goes on. And again, it's to each their own. I'm not like dumping on anyone, but it's just not for me personally,
a lot of that stuff, like even with the team things, like I can't have somebody tell me, oh, go throw this and do this here. Like you can give me an area and I'll go fish it how I fish it. But like doc talk with, oh, this bait, doing this depth, that messes me up so bad. I just can't handle it. Like it'll spin me out. I just like if somebody wants to share information with like KFL type stuff. Oh, have you tried this area? That's good. But the detail stuff, I can only fish the way I fish. And
It's like anytime I get that kind of information anyway, it usually ends up being something I'm no good at anyway.
Yeah.
They'll come in and be like, grab your jerkbait box, boys. I'm like, well, I'm out. I'm going to go do something else.
I think our team is actually big on we all kind of respect each other's way of fishing. And I know a lot of times when we practice, like if one of us gets on them and tells the others, they'll come over, but we'll never go right to the same bait they're throwing. We'll see if we can get them going on something else. And we all just kind of respect each other's styles and know that we can all catch fish.
I think that's a big one too. I know with us, it's been, like if Jordan, Joe, Coley, Chuck, it doesn't matter. Like we all like setting lineups or just fishing with other people. We all have so much respect for each other and how they fish that, I'm not going to try to tell Coley, oh, go do this. Man, you got to get on this bite. You got to throw this, or Chuck, go do that. Hell no. Like these guys are as good, if not better than me every day of the week. And I'm not going to try, we have all the utmost respect for each other. I think that's been a big part of it too,
Absolutely.
I think that's why we've been as successful as we have, along with y'all, is because like we feed off each other. And at the beginning of the season, we all said, if we're going to make a run at this thing, we really got to come together and put all our individual stuff aside and just all put our, eggs in one basket and work together as a team. And so, when a bite wasn't going on for me or somebody else, we were constantly in contact with each other and, updating and, hey, try this spot, or, hey, maybe this was working for me. This wasn't working for me. And, some of these spots I fished here, I've lived here all my life. So it's like I fished here since I was knee high with my pawpaw. And so, it really is hard to share information like that, but we knew we gave our team the best chance if we all worked together on this fishery, that we didn't think anybody in the country could beat us, just because of how much knowledge and experience we have here and the willingness to work together. It wasn't going to happen. In my eyes.
It definitely worked.
And it really is like, I don't know. I know people on the outside, some people have, they don't understand why you'd fish the KFL, but it's so much different whenever you're in it. It feels different, and how much you're talking and how much you're just, you're sharing and seeing, bouncing things off other people. Like I'll ask, oh, I've got me and Chuck, oh, okay, we're going out here. I've got this, and this tied on. What are you going to have tied on? And then he says, well, maybe it's maybe something I didn't think about, like this kind of profile or a certain pattern or whatever it was that, oh yeah, I should try that too. Or I'll at least have it in the box with me that day or something, So it's KFL. I'm really not trying to talk it up, but it's the 2 years I've done it. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, but there's no shame in talking it up either. There's so much bullshit online, and it's like people just love to hate and bitch and moan. And it's like, dude, if you're some dork that's just sitting online constantly shitting on every other trail, it's so pathetic, dude. It's like I've had fun. First of all, I did a Hobie event. Awesome. Those dudes ran that so well. It was one of my favorite events I've ever done. It was unbelievable. It was awesome, right? But I've had great times. KBF, EKF is phenomenal. Our local trail, MAKB, is phenomenal. I've had a great time. It's just like, to me, a lot of it's perspective. It's like, you could blow holes in almost anything, and it's just like, for what? Like this idea. It's like, most of us, we all work. This whole pro kayak thing, it's like, that's some bullshit too. We're all doing this for fun. It's expensive. It's a lot of travel. We get time away from our families. It's a passion thing. And it's like, to me, it's like, God, to spend any time, and it's not to say that there aren't legitimate criticisms, right? But it's like, just like where are you putting your energy all the time, and it's like I've just had a lot of fun trying all of it, and I'd rather just try to be like positive about certain things and just try to contribute instead of constantly tearing everything apart except one or two things that maybe you have a connection with or some bias, some reason that it's crazy to me. It's like I just think it's better overall for the community for everyone to just try to kind of be a little more positive, and work together. And I know it affects the way sponsors look at things and bigger money. And just kind of like, I just think we handle ourselves a little more as a community, professionally and just kind of more positive. I think long-term that's going to grow things more than the constant negativity, So as far as KFL goes, I mean, we all know the hiccups, right? Greg will be the first to go take accountability. I've heard him do it many streams. He puts himself out there all the time. I mean, they've said some things that rub guys the wrong way, right? But it's kind of entertaining, and it gets people talking. And there were some hiccups, but there are also a lot of really good things, and so it's just kind of like, what do you want to focus on? I mean, I've had nothing but fun fishing it. It really is a blast, and the best thing is it's a new, unique idea. Like the idea is outstanding. Like execution wise, of course, he's going to work on some things, and it's longevity. We got to prove it over multiple years. I mean, there's a lot of questions, right? It's a new thing, but it's just, to me, the hate. I really don't understand it.
It's very simple. It's like anything else in the world. It's like the select few just hate on anything that is not, their go-to or what they're into. And unfortunately, negative gets way more looks than positivity does. So and I don't mean that KFL. I mean, look at like Bassmaster. Like the criticism that kayak series has got. Take it out of the kayak fishing. The MLF constantly getting harassed when they came to the fishing world with a new style format that wasn't the big 5 fish live on stage. It's
look at Drew Gregory, right? I know nothing about what you mentioned in the beginning of the broadcast, right? Like nothing. I don't even know why it's being protested. Like, and frankly, don't really care, But say it goes the other way, right? Like, so now he's had a pretty epic season here, right? And you hear about it, but like, how much do you really hear about it, right? And now if this goes the other way and something happens,
you'll hear about it.
It'll be and it's just kind of like, guys, like, okay, great. It's just, to me, it's just like, it just brings everything down, and it's unfortunate it has to be that way, but
we've had the talk on here all the time. That's what kills a lot of this for me. Is like, I used to be just like ate up with this crap, and it's just, there's so much negativity around it now. It's just like, I'd rather just go fishing. And like, I love my paddle and fin family. I love doing the podcast. I will 100% say is the only reason I'm still part of anything fishing on social media is because we have to stay in the know to talk with people and stuff like that. I feel like it'd be a very boring show if we were completely disconnected, but I feel like I would enjoy tournament fishing a lot more if it's like you didn't hear about every little bad detail every time something came up. I mean, sometimes there is like especially if you're like, y'all are in KFL. If y'all are the one criticizing it, it means something. Y'all are doing it, but it's the outside criticism. Like, have you tried it? No. Shut the fuck up. Like, come try it.
I think a lot of it for me has been the rules, and with the bandits, I've argued with Derek Miller online, I don't know how many times, but I think it was ultimately the right decision, and it's something that Greg and the league were pushed into I'm not trying to bring all this up. I feel like they were pushed into a corner. But next year they're going to a different way rules are going to be made, or a different rules committee, and everything's going to be more lined out with different people doing it. And I think that's going to make a big step, that's going to be a big step in the right direction. So, I think
the cool thing with the KFL for me is, like, I know a lot of us grew up probably playing sports, football and all that, and you did it with all your buddies, and it was like you were closer with them than you were with your family going through that stuff and growing up like that. And this kind of brought that back to sports for me as an adult too. Is it's like you're on a team again with your buddies and you're all playing together for that common goal again. When you win, you know, it's no longer just you, you're winning with all of them, and it's the full celebration as the team.
That's what's piqued my interest. I had zero interest in it in the beginning, but like listening to Dan talk about it, like, I don't know, that kind of fires me up too. Like, I miss the close, like, team feel of like baseball and football, like you said. And, you know, like, I don't know if it'd be something I'd ever commit to, but like the same thing I've been asked of from this other team somewhere else, I would consider it if it was like a bunch of guys I'm really close with, you know? Like if it's like, hey, we know you're good in moving water, you know, you want to be part of it in case that happens. That'd be different because it's, you know, it's your buddies, like you said. But well, let's I want to talk just about like the success in y'all seasons and what you would I mean, outside of, you got a great group of guys, like what else do you think, you know, made your seasons so successful? And anybody can start.
I'd just say, you know, the way we work together and that camaraderie and that willpower definitely has a lot to do with the success we've had as a team. I mean, I know it wasn't just about the guys that were playing. We had multiple matches where if you weren't playing, you were out there pre-fishing for the guys that couldn't get out there. And we all just put it out on the line. I mean, I know we've kind of all been in playoff mode since, week 6, Mike? I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. It really, yeah. And it's some of our season success this year, honestly, stems from our lack of success early. You know, I mean, we kind of got our asses whooped a little early, and it's we just got into the. I do believe in momentum and fishing, and I really think we just put our heads down and just like we were just so like all pressure off in a weird way. As much pressure as there was, we were just like it was just do or die. There was nothing to think about. We came together as a group, and again, it's like there was so much room. You know, we had drama with ex-teammates and drama with other teams and drama about in the beginning, you know, right? So there was so much room for our group to fall apart. And I swear to God, we came together more, you know, and it was just kind of like the attitudes, you know, I wish everyone could see it. You know, we faced a lot of adversity, and it was like zero nonsense. It was all just like straightforward, you know, it was like really felt like a perfect mentality. And I think that catapulted us into this run, you know, where we're just head down and just looking to destroy. That's it. Like we don't care about anything else, you know, and it's just very, very focused and together more than anything. You know, it's like we're getting criticized on broadcast and what's going on with them. They stay, you know, and then we had teams in our region, right? Very small region. We all know each other very well, all the different teams, you know, and one thing about KFL I'll say is some of like the great anglers, they'll almost get like brought down. Like people will be like, well, why aren't they putting up giant this and giant that? And it's like, I'm like, dude, pump the brakes. Like this guy's won everywhere. Like he's phenomenal, you know.
And then that kills me.
Yeah, and then some of the not so great guys. Not. I don't want to say that. Like I don't want to offend anyone, but like you know, more average guys that haven't necessarily won all the time on an individual level are being inflated like crazy, you know. And then you get this like all these different swirling personalities and egos, all like an hour and a half away from each other. The Northeast gets pretty wild, you know. It's like only just because of proximity, you know. And it's like so, you know, there were a lot of situations where we could have fallen apart, and I really think that's our biggest strength right now is just that teamwork thing. And it's an old football cliche and all that, but I mean we really are a strong team and hyper focused, you know. And it's just kind of I just think when you get in that zone, man, it's just anybody fishing that way is dangerous. And then you get a group of guys working together fishing that way, I think it makes you, you know, really dangerous. So
and really to go start the season 0-3, right? And then to
I think it was 1-3, but
one and three.
It was 0-3, and then we won week 4.
Were we? Yeah, I don't even.
And then to go from there to win so many games, and then your last game to go all the way to Indianapolis and to beat a team that then 2 seasons have never lost at home. Man, that
was such a
awesome,
close
dude.
game too.
Yeah,
I know I said it the other night, but I got back to the boat ramp and I was the first one back to that. And I mean, Indy had the rest of their teammates there, and they put a couple of fish up afterwards, and I saw it hit 164 to our 164 3/4. And man, I felt like I was going to puke waiting for that other fish to come across. Are they done? It was rough. It was rough on the soul, but we've broke down every game we've had, basically, taking it one game at a time. And when we finish it, we look at what we did right and what we did wrong. And then it's real quick, happy if we won, but then it's right back on to the next one. I mean, I know we got guys on the team, we close our eyes and we're seeing Navionics maps, and it's an addiction for sure.
Yeah. Good addiction.
I think our
one of the better ones for sure.
Our biggest thing this year was being able to win on the road. We went 2-2 on the road. That's huge. I mean, kind of us on Neely, that's almost automatic. But being able to win on the road, that was huge for us.
I think another thing was putting the right pieces to the puzzle. Like when we were picking the team, we were like, okay, who are we going to go after? Because if we're going to make a run at this thing, we need to have all the pieces to the puzzle ready to go and just plug and play. You know what I mean? I mean, if you ain't got the right pieces to the puzzle, you're not going to have a perfect puzzle. And I mean, it was pretty easy. I mean, really, as far as picking guys, we needed some guys that were, had certain strengths, because, we wanted to be well-rounded for everything that we came across to. If we were fishing lakes, rivers, freaking the ocean, anything. I mean, we wanted to make sure our team was squared away in every way possible. That way that we had a chance at winning any team that we fished against. And I mean, I think we couldn't have put together a better team. And I mean, it's like Chuck was saying, traveling. I mean, that getting home field advantage in the KFL and the playoffs. Like we knew at the beginning of the season, if we get that, we will give our chance a legitimate. I mean, we will give ourselves the perfect chance to make it all the way. And I think that every team wished they would have got home field advantage in the playoffs. I mean, every team wants that, but I mean, we just knew how important it was to us. Not saying we don't travel well, because I mean, like I got second at Pickwick last year in the Bassmaster tournament, but I mean, this year we all agreed, hey, we're going to focus all of our time on the KFL, and I feel like a lot of teams did not do that. I feel like a lot of teams were like, oh, well, I got a Hobie tournament coming up, or I got a KBF tournament coming up, or a Bassmaster tournament, and other guys would play for them. Where like most of our guys, Joe fishes Hobies, Dan's fished Hobies, I fished Hobies, Jordan fishes Hobies. Like, we all fish different trails, but I think that was the big thing with our team this year was that our main focus was the KFL, and we knew we had a chance to, go to the championship if we just played our cards right. And I mean, I think that was a huge factor in this year.
Well, I think you said something definitely key there. I mean, we have a lot of guys on ours that, are well-rounded all over. I mean, you get started on Brundle and Matt and what they've done in KBF. I mean, that goes back to us just trusting our guys. I think like all of us have had a national finish in KBF somewhere, and we just trust we're going to get it done no matter who we send.
Sometimes it's tough. And if you don't listen to it, the KBF KFL does a lot of broadcasts, and some of the announcers on there, you think sometimes like it's tough whenever they'll say, oh, I can't believe that they sent Dan this week, or they sent Chuck and they didn't send Jordan and Joe, or what, it's like, who, am I just like dog shit? Like you're just, like, I'm sorry I'm on the B team on my own team, but And then
I got it was a surprising I was gonna be going to Indy, but they followed it up with I was a wild card and could be something good or bad, but yeah, I've gotten some of that in the league too.
Maybe the broadcasters need to learn some of that professionalism you see on like the big boat TV stuff. They seem to know all the good things about everybody, you know.
It's tough. I mean, a lot of the people, especially at the beginning of the season, they don't know who everybody is. So, and doing a podcast, I mean, it's tough, man. It's so tough, and bless them guys for doing. I'm glad they do it. It's a lot of fun to watch, but sometimes some of the things they say, it definitely almost gives you a little bit more fuel to.
It definitely does. Definitely does.
To be fair, you can Google those big boat guys, and all their info will stack up. I'm pretty sure you Google any of us, and it's like, who is this guy? All right, we got his Facebook. We can see what it says.
And then whenever you have so many teams playing and so many possible people that could play, it's hard to. Hard for them guys to do all that research.
I mean, intent matters too, right? Like they're trying to make it fun and like give content. It's like you got to give. It's so different from like just actual direct hate, and it's like, and that's where our egos come into play, where we're like, what? Like, you don't think I should play? Well, it's like, let's go, bitch. Like, come play me then. It's like, so it's one of those
grudge match.
Yeah. It's like, you want a side bet? Let's go. It's just so it's an ego thing. You hear someone question you, and it's on an individual trail that doesn't happen. And that's one of the cool things about KFL too is the added pressure. Like, if I'm having I put a lot of pressure on myself. Like, you can ask my teammates too. I'm a little bit nuts before a tournament. Like, I can't sleep and I get all hyper and like, I'm like, I'm crazy, I get too into it a little bit and then I get all stressed and wound up. And some of these guys are just super relaxed, and it's but it's like, you do put added pressure. Like, you don't want to let your guys down. Almost, I almost like that even more than like the friendship and all that. It's like, it makes it so fun because you're like, dude, I can't screw this up. Like, I can't be the one to really suck today and like cost us, which is funny. Week 1 in Maine, I went out there and put up like 190 something inches, and I had the wrong identifier all day, which I've never done in any tournament ever, and they're just like dumping on me on the broadcast after. And I was just like, oh dude, this is terrible, and but that added pressure I think is awesome. It really freaks you out a lot about,
it lights a fire too, though. I know in Indy, I mean, we were halfway through, and I was the only mauler without a fish, and I know running through my head was, man, they said it was a surprise. I'm coming out here. At that point, we were down by a lot, and it just lit that fire. I got to get this done, not only like for me, but for my guys. Like, I can't let them down. That was always in the back of the head, feeding the fuel. So I don't mind it.
There's no quitting in the KFL because you feel so bad whenever you don't have a great day or you only put up one fish or whatever it is, man. You feel really bad, like you really let your team down.
Yeah. Individual events, like you have no one scrolls down past the top like 10 or 12, so it's like, yeah, you obviously want to win, but it's like, look, even the best are going to go out there and have stinker days, and it's just like so much more highlighted when it's a team thing. They're going to be talking about it after, and if you're like the glaring weakness, it definitely sucks. It's especially like our group, like we do have some big names, and it's like I I'll be sitting there fishing, and it's like I've done well, right? But like, there's way bigger names than me, that's for sure. You know what I mean? It's like, God, I don't want to let these guys down. It's it definitely adds pressure, but it's good pressure though. It's you should be responding to that stuff in like a positive way. It should get you pumped up, not afraid. It's like, so definitely adds a really cool element to the whole thing. So,
hey Mike, how many inches did y'all have on Chick last year in the championship?
Oh, I can't remember. It was close. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but Texas started submitting after the deadline, and we were all geeking. Like, we didn't know what happened. It was like we thought, but I can't remember. I want to say it was like I want to say like low 180s, but I could be totally lying. I really don't remember. You guys have experience there?
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah, I fished it a few times. Jordan practically lives there, so he fishes it a lot. Joe has fished Chick since I believe 79, so he's got a lot of experience there
for a long time.
You can never put Joe out. Joe can turn it on some days. Like it's like some days he just wakes up and decides he's done being a nice, loving, normal fisherman, and he just goes out there and just like bam, slams him down like he did in Texas. And then like there's other tournaments where it's like I get better like photography shots from him than fish he caught that day. It's like you weren't fishing. Do you realize there was a tournament going on? Like, but Joe and Jordan I think could completely show out on Chick for sure.
We expect them to. We expect them to. Hey, that's what we want. Like we've been hearing, okay, Granite State, they're going to do this and that. And it's like, okay, great. We heard that. We heard nobody can beat Indy. Nobody can do this. You guys got to go beat Pennsylvania on the Susky. And it's like, we're not disrespecting anyone, but we just don't care. It's like, yeah, I'm sure you guys are going to put up a big bag. I would bet my bottom dollar on that, but I think we will too. And it's just kind of we wanted you guys, and not because we think we'll beat you. We watched what you guys did. You guys crushed it. You guys were killing the South, and we were like, man, that'd be a fun matchup. They got some absolute hammers, and it's that's just what we want. We're really competitive. We're not looking for an easy road, So
nobody wants to win a championship the easy way. We all want to say we deserved it. We were the best, and we know you guys feel that way too.
Yeah. We think we're probably dogs. We're probably dogs. You guys are closer.
Come on, not by much.
I don't think we'll be the underdogs since y'all are the reigning champs. So
I don't know.
I think you guys will be on top. I mean, you guys live closer and have a lot more experience.
And everyone picks against us every week.
You guys the rating.
No, it's going to be tough, and it's going to be a really good matchup.
Yeah. Hey, I just hope
it's going to be a slugfest.
Yeah. I mean, this time of year it could be amazing from what I've heard.
It could be, but the weather in the South is completely bonkers right now compared to like this time last year. I know a lot of the fisheries are fishing tough because of like the sudden giant cold snap. So it'd be. I mean, y'all still got some more time before that, so everything's going to be leveling out and getting back to normal, but.
It's been like bluebird skies for like 3 weeks. I've never seen
and annoying.
Well, that place is one of the most pressured lakes probably in the country, So it's
at least you get by that time you get some of the hunters. They're not fishing, so
yeah. So what do you guys think it's going to take to win then?
I said 180 last night. It'll take at least that much for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody's going to crack 190.
Woo. That'd be a big bag. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I've never been there.
Chick, like my experience with Chick is it's really good and it can be really bad. It's one of the most humbling fisheries that I've fished. I mean, you can go one day and put up, 90 something inches and then feel great about yourself and then turn around, go the next day and conditions be different. The bite's almost non-existent. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. I mean, it's gonna be fun to figure out. But I think, between y'all and us, I'm sure somebody's gonna crack 190. I mean, I don't see how it's not gonna happen.
And that place,
which would be awesome. That's the way you want it. I mean, that'd be. I hope it's close, and I hope we all just smack them, and then comes down to a couple kickers. But who knows? I mean, you just don't know. I mean, it's a wild format, and anything can happen. And one team goes out there and struggles, and it's like wheels blown off. Who knows? But it is going to be fun though.
That place is historically like you talk to guys that like. I'm friends with a lot of Tennessee clubs, so you hear all about all the local stuff there. Every time you talk to somebody about, the winter, is it fish is so small. Like, Sadiki, like, fished one area 50 yards wide for 2 days. Like, and it's always something like that. It could be a stretch of pockets and only one pocket that whole day. It just, for it to be a lake that can throw up, a giant fish that it does, it's like they concentrate sometimes just hard to one small area. You can say that about a lot of lakes, but you can hear about guys on some of the other Tennessee rivers, like Pickwick, you're going to run around. You're not going to catch them in one spot most of the time. But, if you think of it from like a big boat perspective, but especially this year, just like listening to the winners and talking to a bunch of my buddies, it's that one magical area, just 2 days of 100-yard stretch.
I think you see that a lot more on river systems than lakes, is you'll find that they'll be right there in the small. I don't know, it's weird. It's if they travel in packs or what. I've had some success down in Alabama. I came in third in the KBF event down there at Pickwick, Wilson, Wheeler, and it was the same thing there. I kind of found most of my fish just loaded up on one little spot at a certain time when the current was doing a certain thing.
God knows on Pickwick, if they turn the current off, everything's gone.
That's most of them lakes for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, we don't want to hold y'all up for too long. Appreciate y'all being on. It's either way, let's go down there and have some fun and hang out at the Blue Creek, whatever it is, and have some good fellowship and catch some fish.
Hey, you guys had a hell of a year, man. Congratulations, however it goes. And we're happy to play the best. Like we wanted the best, and we felt like you guys certainly deserved it from the South. We paid attention. You guys kicked a lot of ass, so it is going to be awesome, man. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
I said it earlier, we wouldn't want anybody else in this championship, so I'm excited to see how it all folds down.
And you got to watch that humble competition. That's the guys to be scared of.
Yeah,
I'm getting some big dude vibes from these guys over here. Like they're super humble.
I think that's just a lot of our team. We understand fishing's fishing. Everybody's gonna have their day, and I think regardless, it's just gonna make for some good television to watch for sure. So,
yeah, if there was no chance you lose, it wouldn't be fun. Everybody loses sometime, so it's just kind of like, hey, we know you guys could potentially whoop us, but that's what we want. We want it, so it's like it's going to be a great time, and either way, we're going to have some fun. So,
and if everybody doesn't know, second place is $11,000, so the team's guaranteed $11,000. First place is $32,000. So
big swing.
Big money.
Good. Yeah, for sure.
That'll help.
You guys want to chop like poker? Let's chop. No,
I would take a chop.
All that competitive talk was bullshit. Let's just.
I would still go do a side pot, but chop it. I would chop it.
Yeah.
Hey, I always take guaranteed money every time.
I think my teammates would kill me if I offered that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I think some of us are a little bit too competitive on the Maulers to let that one go.
All right. Well, before we let you go, we want to give you a chance to shout out any sponsors or anybody that makes fishing easier for you. Nate, we'll start with you, man.
Definitely Fresh Baits. They're a big part of my success and a lot of what I throw. Hookset Hoodlums, Dakota Lithium Batteries, Ray's Eyewear, and then of course all the sponsors that help out with the Maulers like X-Zone, Malone, Fusa, MGC. They're all great, and they make our lives a lot easier in this league, and we appreciate that.
X-Zone, get in the zone. I love it. Mike, how about you, man?
Well, he covered all the team stuff, and so I just want to shout out the boys, the teammates, and most times I like to thank guys like you, content creators, the tournament trail directors, everyone that makes it possible for us normal guys to go have a blast. And when the hell would we be talking to guys from Alabama about meeting up in Tennessee to have a derby? It's like it's a cool opportunity. So I just appreciate that we have stuff like this to do, and all the sponsor stuff and all that. Nate pretty much covered. So
cool. Coley?
Jackson Kayaks, Dugout, Halo Rods. That's it for me. And then the team stuff, the Dugout again, I mean,
Yeah.
all the team guys. I mean, it's just everybody knows.
Chuck,
You know, my wife Pilar, she's a big player in all this. You know, when I'm out here having fun fishing, she's, you know, taking care of the baby and all that good stuff. Got to thank Dan and Coco up here for giving me a nickname this year. You know, thank you, Jimmy, for having us on, and you know, all our team sponsors. Dan, you'll list them off, I'm sure. But yeah, I appreciate, you know, all you guys.
yeah, for the Kingfishers this year, it was Dugout Bait and Tackle, Bano Power Batteries, Ram Tool was our big one, and Cherokee County, Alabama. Beautiful Cherokee County, Alabama. There you go. Well, we appreciate y'all being on, and good luck the rest of the year, and we'll see y'all here in a couple weeks.
All right.
Congrats on the
Thanks
season.
for having us. Yeah. See you
Peace.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Later. There
Awesome.
we go.
I'm actually might have to tune into this one. I think this one's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it'll just be one.
I didn't know that they were returning champs.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
they won last year.
That's really cool though. I mean, like, not only do they kick ass this year, but you're getting to go up against the dominating team from last year. So, well, let's.
Well, if you hold on just a second, I'll do the. Oh, how do you spell? Oh, dude, I'm
I
from
tried typing it in a
Mississippi.
second ago, and I failed miserably. Are you on?
I can't even spell Massachusetts. I can't say it, and I can't pronounce it. I have a real problem. But I want to go over their whole team. I don't know who all's on their team. I know it's Ken Wood, Derek Brundle, Matthew Conant, them two guys. I know they're going to be upset because I didn't say the other guys. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. John Ferreira.
I was going to say Fishing Chaos worked a little fucking smoother. I'd have all this information.
John Ferreira and Joe D'_ADDEO. Joe DeAO. There you go. Hopefully I didn't say that wrong. And in our teams, obviously Coley and Chuck, myself, Lance Coley, Dustin Nichols, Jordan Marshall, Jordan Marshall, Joe McElroy, and Nick Dyer. So I wanted to give everybody on the two teams shout out. So there you go.
Yeah, it's all good. Well, we got a few tournaments to go over that happened this week. As we talked about a little bit in the beginning, we had the Bassmasters final event, 2-day event on Pickwick. 80 people signed up for that one. Drew Gregory, first place, 175.5. Guillermo Gonzalez, second place with 167.25, and Christine Fisher, 166.25 for third. Next up, the Buckeye Kayak Fishing Trail on the Dayton Rivers. 37 anglers, first place, Reese Stoughton with 97.75. And I saw his little Facebook recap of that, and that dude slayed smallmouth for that tournament. I think he says the best smallmouth day he's ever had. Second place, Tim Crabtree Jr. with 91.75. Third place, Michael Pippin with 83.5. Moving on from there, the Arkansas Kayak State Championship on Lake Dardanelle, 2-day tournament. 55 anglers. First place, Larry Hollis with 162. Second place, Chris Jones with 154.75. And third place, Cole Sykes with 154.5. Next up is the Moyak Fishing Tournament Series on Pomme de Terre. 62 anglers. First place, Chris Robbs with 81.5. Second place, Lance Burris with 80 inches. Third place, Dorman Huey with 78.5. Next up, the Kayak Anglers Association of Central Arizona on Roosevelt Lake. 31 anglers. First place, Mark Neelys, maybe 92 inches. Second place, Bryce Gibbs with 80.75, and third place, Mark Heltzel with 80 inches. And last but not least, Cincinnati Kayak Fishing 100-mile radius event. 100 miles from the Great American Ballpark is eligible. 49 anglers, 5 fish limit. First place, Jason Klempo with 89.5. Second place, Eric Jones, 79.5. Third place, Jason Young with 79.25. And that was it. The seasons are winding down. It's championship season. We've got the TOCs coming up at some point. I don't even know when. It's kind of sad. I knew it at one point. I've lost my note. just had the last Bassmaster. The KBFNC is
next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend.
Yep.
On Kentucky Lake, and then I think it's day 3 is on Barkley. No, that's this weekend.
Is it?
Because next weekend's the Tennessee State Championship up there.
If you say so, man.
I think so. I'm gonna look it up. You would think that as professionals that we would have this shit wrote down, but I'll tell you what, I have not been doing good lately, so I'm sorry. But yeah, that was a fun show. Y'all make the KFL sound so good. It's nice to hear the good things come around all the BS that it's normally all you hear about it. So
it's not that much BS. I mean, it's like a couple things that people just
would
not shut up about
Yeah.
over and over and over. It's been like the same 2 things all year long, and they just don't go away. The people are like, like, I don't know.
The people involved have moved on,
scorn
folks.
lovers.
Drop it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Great show and good to have another one. Hopefully the Bassmaster stuff will get worked out and we can have an update on that. At minimum, do an update next weekend to talk about it. And yeah. Anything else, Dano?
That's it.
Sweet. Well, this has been another fun episode of The Reel Down. Glad everybody stuck with us, and we will see y'all next week.
Later, everybody.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode here on Paddle and Fin. Be sure to drop a 5-star rating, a thumbs up, or smash that subscribe button on any platform you're listening in on. Be sure to check us out on Waypoint TV, waypointtv.com. Make sure you sign up for the Fantasy Kayak Fishing League at paddleandfin.com/fantasy. You can support this show through Patreon, patreon.com/paddleandfin. Don't forget to check out the website, paddleandfin.com. Catch us on YouTube. If you got a question, comment, or want to see a future guest on the show, be sure to email us at paddleandfin@gmail.com. Shout out to our show supporters, Yak Gadget. You can check out all the fine kayak accessories at yakgadget.com. Pelican Professional. For all your cases, coolers, and lighting needs, go to pelican.com. Rocktown Adventures, your Midwest premier paddle sports destination. Go to rocktownadventures.com. Eastport Marina, the beautiful destination on Dale Hollow Lake. If you're looking for lodging, kayaks, kayak accessories, or anything fishing related on the beautiful Dale Hollow Lake, go to eastport.info. And Jigmasters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to jigmasters.com and fill your tackle box